In the past, if you wanted to get a practical Volkswagen Golf or Jetta sedan, you typically had to pay a little bit more to get a slice of German engineering.
Well, now with the introduction of the all-new 2011 Jetta, Volkswagen is hoping that owning a slice of VW goodness will be bigger and now more attainable. You can now get a Jetta for as little as $15,875. That's right, for under $16,000 you can get this all-new model. Volkswagen hopes that their mix of engine choices and handling will convince buyers of cars like the Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, and Mazda 3 to give the VW Jetta a shot.
Now, the good news for diesel fans is that the TDI clean diesel is available in this new, larger Jetta. By the way, this base model we have here and the diesel are making up the bulk of the sales. This vehicle is now a top 10 seller in Canada. The Jetta has grown by 7.4 centimeters in length, and most of that comes from the extended wheelbase, which provides class-leading backseat legroom. The longer dimensions are accentuated by pleasant body lines that run along the entire length of the car.
The new headlight and grille design look more aggressive and upscale than the outgoing rounded model. And if you squint your eyes a little bit, the outgoing Ford Focus kind of comes to mind. The back features flush-mounted taillights that look like they've been borrowed from the Audi parts department, which is a good thing. On the base model, the 15-inch steel wheels and covers come standard, but 17-inch wheels are available on higher trim levels. The Jetta has grown up to look like a more expensive car than the price suggests, which allows buyers who don't want to step up into a mid-size car price, similar space at a lower price.
And the materials used on the dash, the doors, and even the seats, it's not flashy, but it gets the job done. It looks fairly attractive. It's very simple in here. It's all about function with the Germans, don't you know? The thing is, on the base model here, you do not get radio controls in the steering wheel, and Bluetooth is not available on the base model. You got to spend a little bit more. This is all about practicality. The seats are very supportive and can be covered with cloth, leatherette, or leather. The leatherette is a good idea because it'll hold up year after year. The back seat offers 6.7 centimeters more legroom than the outgoing model, making it best in class. Interior upgrades include a cold weather package as a standalone option, which includes heated seats for just $275. A very easy-to-use touchscreen navigation unit is also a standalone option on the 2.5-liter and TDI models at just $895. The Jetta has always been known for a huge trunk, and this 2011 model continues to have class-leading capabilities. In fact, the Jetta is the largest vehicle in the compact class. There are count them, four engine choices with this new Jetta, including the base model we're driving here, which has a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. The base model engine has 115 horsepower. Then there's the 2.5-liter 5-cylinder with 170 horsepower. Then the 2-liter TDI clean diesel with 140, and later in the model year, a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder with 200 horsepower. Now that is a lot of choice considering most of the vehicles this car competes against usually only have 2 engine choices. The base 2-liter will be attractive to price-conscious buyers. The 2.5-liter is a good all-rounder, but I believe the star will be the diesel. Now, having driven the base 2-liter, the 2.5-liter 5-cylinder, and the diesel, I would automatically go for the diesel because I love all that torque. But you know what? It's more expensive. It starts around $24,000. But I gotta say, this 2-liter base engine is surprising. When you drive it in person, it pulls beautifully in day-to-day commuting. It cruises along. It's geared very nicely for the highway. It's only when you need to pass on the highway, it could use a little bit more grunt. This car is nice feeling because it's so spacious, and every time I drive the Jetta, I think this is my 3rd or 4th time driving it, I look in here and I'm saying to myself, you know, I could be driving a rather basic Corolla, or I could be driving a rather basic Civic for this one right here is 18 grand. I'm thinking to myself, this is a lot of car. It feels roomy, it feels like a mid-sized car, and it feels well planted on the road, typical German engineering, and for all of that, I think it's a real winner, and it's already showing up in the sales figures.
I normally prefer a manual, so I was quite surprised that I actually preferred the 6-speed automatic transmission over the 5-speed manual. The automatic transmission is one of the reasons that the 2-liter engine works so well. The downshifts are very quick for more power. You can put it in sport mode, or you can do the shifting manually. The suspension has been reworked with a torsion beam instead of independent suspension. This also sounds like a step back, but in reality, the longer wheelbase and modern bushings and suspension components give a very expressive ride and is comfortable. As expected from a Volkswagen, this car has some great driving dynamics like steering, handling, and responsiveness. However, on the highway, this 2-liter engine is lacking a little bit of power, and when you compare it to the Cruze and the Civic, for example, the interior is not as quiet.
So Lacey, has Volkswagen basically downgraded this car with a new lower starting price, or have they just opened it up to a whole new crowd?
Well, Zach, I think that they've opened the door to a lot of people that wouldn't normally have considered buying a Jetta before, and first of all, because of that new lower starting price. It's also very roomy, not just for the passengers, but also for cargo. And you have a choice of engines, especially with that TDI clean diesel. And the fit and finish on the interior looks amazing, which brings me to a few of the things that I don't like about the Jetta. The material is wonderful, but I think that the interior just looks a little plain and a little bit boring, especially compared to the other cars in this segment. That 2-liter engine's a little bit underpowered, especially on the highway, and it is a little bit noisy, again, on the highway. So, Zach, what do you think?
Well, I agree with a lot of what you said. You know, the reason, you just look at the stats on this car and a lot of the likes are going to jump out right away. First and foremost, it's the biggest car in the compact class. And I like the steering feel, the fact that it feels direct. It is a bit light, but it is direct. Also, it's comfortable, especially the driver's seat. And I love those options that are so inexpensive. For under $300, you can add on the heated seats. For under $1,000, you can add on navigation. And my only dislike really is the fact that there's no Bluetooth on the base model. With these new hands-free laws, it seems like a bit of an oversight.
Now, just an FYI, most people don't know that the Volkswagen Group wants to be the #1 car company by 2018.
And not just in North America, worldwide, beating General Motors and Toyota. So this is a car company that has not been sold to 95% of the population. So people who haven't tried a Volkswagen, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised.
If you're in the market for a diesel vehicle, see all the reviews at our website, drivingtelevision.com.